three different ways the people usually try to do sales. The first category of sales people, they try to create the advantage zone, wherein they talk a lot about the features, advantages and benefits of the product, and they try to convince the audiences. Then second category of people who are comparatively mature as compared to the first categories of people, and they try to create the need of the product, or they make the customer interested in their solutions. They want to listen to their concerns and they want to understand their interest. Based on that, they become empathetic and they get into the customer's shoes, and they create a kind of rapport which will further facilitate their selling process. The masters, the legends, they have a different approach. Who will win at this time of crisis? The ordinary salespeople, the ordinary professionals, they are not going to survive for sure, and it is going to be a very tough time for them. The only way out is to improve the skills, enhance the knowledge, and change the strategy and approach. I have been putting lots of emphasis on particular factor, and it is to create a urgency zone for your product. In my past videos, I mentioned how to create a urgency zone for your product and solution. The best way to ensure and assure the customer that your product, your service and your solution is going to mitigate or negate their risk and the cost factors. Okay, and what you don't have to do, you don't have to offer any sort of discounts or a common kind of mistakes that salespeople usually do. Okay, second thing, the buyer and the seller both have to understand the difference in cost and investments. On the buyer side, the seller has to understand the buyer is very cautious at this point in time. Everybody is trying to bring down the cost, curtailing the cost, snubbing the cost, and avoiding any sort of risk at this point in time. So you shouldn't sound in your offering so that they should get even an iota of impression you are trying to sell something to them, or you are encouraging them to invest. Okay, investment is again has to be taken into a different way. This is something which a seller has to understand. Why? The investment, if you ask customer to invest into your product as at this point in time, nobody is going to release the money out of their fist. However important you are, probably like you are giving them stars and moon at the cost of an apple, there is chances. Else, if you want to do a business on a business terms, you will have to understand the people mental state of mind, what they have been going through. The time is really very tough for everyone. So when you ask for the investment, the clear message that goes to the customer is that, okay, fine, I am going to put the money now, but the return is not immediate. Return is not very certain. However, you've been trying your level best to secure their interest and everything you have been trying from your side, but still there is an element of apprehensions that remains there in the customer's mind. So investment has to be taken into a different way. At times the investment might get you the return for which the customer is not ready now, so don't take that route. But at times the investment is required to protect your existing investment. The customer is definitely interested into this. So you will have to sound, even if you have been asking customer to invest in your product, solution or services, you have been trying to mitigate and negate their risk and loss factor. No business owner, no company is willing to have any sort of losses at this point in time, because any loss at this point in time could be 10 times more severe, more impactful. So if you could make the customer understand this, your product or solution will help them to cover or protect their existing investments. Chances are there, and chances are very fair you might get the deal. Now, beside having all these facts, the basic question comes, the bottom line is the closing. How do you do the closing? This is very important. There are thousands ways One cannot define how the closing will happen. You Google it and you will find different ways of closing. I have simplified it for you. Don't get confused with so many strategy, and you don't have to read the books, or you don't have to go by the 50 ways of closings. No, I'm giving you just 3 simple ways of closing. See, your closing will happen based on the approach you have taken to sell your product. The closing is the natural outgrowth, the natural outcome of all the past processes that you have done. For an example, let's suppose, I'll again go back to the categories of sellers. In the very first category, like you've been selling by creating the advantage zone, wherein you talk about feature, advantage and benefits. Okay, here the closing happens based on the probability. Probability means it might happen, it might not happen, it might happen, it might not. It is same like you are throwing a coin in the air and you wish it to be head, and you get a tail. You try it again head, you win, or if tails comes, you lose. Means you keep on trying. The more you try, chances are there like you might get the order. No, but there is a huge cost associated for your organization. Because in order to create the funnel, in order to do the test and trial, you will have to make lots of calling, and you will have to reach out to the many people, and that is a cost. The moment your funnel gets voluminous, means that much amount of money you have engaged while creating the funnel. And what is the conversion ratio? Very feeble, because it is a probability case. The second category of salespeople, what they do, they try to create the need zone. So need, interest, concerns and expectations they define, and based on that they become very empathetic and they try to sell. They get into the customer's shoes, and there is a very high level of bonding with the customers, and chances of selling goods becomes very fair. So the closing chances, the closing happens based on the possibility. The possibility of getting hits is quite fair. Means you are tossing the coin, and chances of getting hits is quite fair. Means you are again getting more return on your investment, the investment that you have put on creating the sales funnel. Exactly. But what the legends do, legends has a different approach. The moment they create a urgency zone, they do it with a great fineness. Their surety is already done throughout the process. So what they have been getting out of this? There is no probability, there is no possibility, there is only surety. They are assured they'll get the business. The percentage of winning is very high if you try to sell something by creating the urgency zone. Again, there is a very common queries coming from across the regions, and people say like, getting the business owner is really very difficult, getting the decision makers is really very difficult. Exactly. I'm pretty sure any one of you who have been approaching a customer, you must be interacting with 3, 4, 5 different people in different departments like purchase, finance, technical, accounts and all. You have already established a rapport with most of them, correct? Keep your contacts, relationship alive by different means, and the one who is the influencer, remain in touch with them, establish a post touch systems, keep on providing them some sort of material, some sort of details related to your product and services or your offerings. It will help them to develop a greater and bigger understanding on your product, solution or services. And at the time, the person becomes so very confident about your solutions, about your services, he becomes your salesperson to his decision makers, and he present your product and services with great fineness to the decision makers, and that's how it helps them to win the deal for you. Because when the proposal is kept in front of the decision makers, there are 80% probability the decision maker asks the person who represent the commercials to them, the decision maker asks their viewpoint on that particular offering, and if the person is confident, chances are there, like 90% cases we have seen, the decision maker give their positive nods on that particular offer and commercial, and that's how you win. So winning is not a one-day task. Winning is a regular process if your organization has to grow and you have to grow. So stay tuned with me, keep on watching my videos, and if it is bringing any change in your life, do leave your comments. And if in case you have any specific query related to sales and business, do write to me, because the kind of discussion that we are having through these videos, it has been brought out of the practical experience. It has been inferred after talking to different set of people across different countries. So the outcome is quite foolproof, and it is definitely going to help you in your business. We'll meet again very soon in my next videos. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being with me. Have a great day, guys. Thank you.